I do remember her being very committed to what she was doing, especially with her involvement in the community and doing Warren Achievement, because of the hours and hours and hours she spent on the phone trying to get volunteers and making things work for Warren Achievement. So it was her dedication to her vision and her following through and the time she put in to make something like that happen.
Okay.
Well, I guess it influenced me, partly her work, but the fact that I had a sister with special needs, that I went into special education and then became a teacher for kids with special needs. So that was the direct influence.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing available at that time in Monmouth for children like that. Back in those days, a lot of times people that had children with special needs, had babies, were just told to put their babies in an institution, which was very common. There were many institutions for, and they didn't call them kids with special needs. It was mentally retarded or, severely handicapped were put in institutions, and that just wasn't going to happen. And there was another family in town that had a child about the same age as Nancy with special needs. They kind of got together and I think decided together to do this. And Mom was reaching out for help. We remember that she took her to Burlington, Iowa. There was a doctor who came up from Kansas City to Burlington to service children with special needs. And so my parents actually sent Nancy to his school in Kansas City for, I don't remember how long Nancy was gone, but she was down there for probably a couple years. And I think he probably supported Mom in her decisions and to get something going here in Monmouth. I think a hero, I guess a local hero is somebody who's in the news for a reason, and I think the fact that she did so much out in the community, not with just Warren Achievement, but with United Way, was why she was so known. She was actually the first executive director of the United Way, so she kind of laid the groundwork for that job too. So I think people just looked up to her because she was able to get something started from scratch, from ground zero, and then people could learn from her to carry on. The fact that one thing that Mom was able to do was to keep the household running a lot of times on her own, because our father was a traveling salesman at the time, and she would have the 5 kids at home and not only take care of our needs and get us to school.
Milkman was my dad. Was Postman yours? Oh,
taking care of all of us and, meals and taking care of us, plus doing Warren Achievement and other things. And she was always the one with the toolbox and the hammer, because she also did fix things around the house, and she was the one that painted, and she worked hard. I can remember, one of her very favorite shows was Johnny Carson on at 10:30 at night, and she'd invariably be sitting there folding laundry, and she was still working at 10:30 at night. And she would talk in later years about how her favorite time of the day was 2 in the morning when she finally got to take a bath and sit in the bathtub by herself where it was quiet.